On this Memorial Day, we salute and remember those that have served so bravely and those that have paid the ultimate price for our freedom. This great holiday always includes baseball. Tonight, Miami is in Pittsburgh, a city steeped in baseball history. So pull up a chair, roll out the stars and stripes. The Pirates and the Marlins salute you. In Pittsburgh, a gorgeous night on this Memorial Day Monday. The Marlins and the Pirates open up a 3-game series. Great festivities in and around the ballpark. And a nice crowd expected. The Pirates are hot. The Marlins taking 2 of 3 from the Orioles. And yes, the camo uniforms and numbers and caps will be worn by both teams. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. Welcome to beautiful Pittsburgh. Always an honor to be here on a Memorial Day with Major League Baseball.
It's an honor to be in a ballpark, which I have, I think, for the last 51 years on Memorial Day, and to make it succinct, thank you for your service.
And we present you some baseball tonight. Marlins are trying to keep the momentum that they got against Baltimore. The Orioles and the Marlins met in a 3-game weekend series. Here, it's the Pirates who swept the Mets with great pitching. So we present pitching as our topic A. David Phelps, Charlie Morton.
As a starter, David Phelps, a 2.41 ERA and a 2-1 record. According to his pitching coach, all the stolen bases last time against David Phelps, 4 out of the 7, an anomaly. Usually he holds runners much better. On the other side, it'll be Charlie Morton making 3 rehab starts, coming back from hip surgery. He also had Tommy John surgery 2012, so they'll keep a close eye on Charlie Morton tonight.
And they'll see a lot of sinkers and 2-seamers from Morton. Memorial Day, a baseball tradition in Pittsburgh. We will be saluting our veterans throughout the night. We've got Pirates and Marlins in Game 1 coming up. Let's go places. By Florida Coast Equipment, Florida's largest Kubota dealer. Visit us at FloridaCoastEQ.com. And by AutoNation, save on over 70,000 vehicles now. Visit AutoNation.com. Along the Allegheny, PNC Park, Marlins and Pirates, historically a real tough place for the Marlins. But with 2 of 3 in their sales, the Marlins here on this road trip, which starts in Pittsburgh, ends in New York, and begins with this lineup brought to you by JM Lexus. D. Gordon in the leadoff spot. Marcelo Zuna's in center. Giancarlo Stanton is in right field. Martin Prado, a real nice weekend and a 7-game hit streak into this ballgame. Justin Bour back at first and back in the 5 spot. JT Real Muto had yesterday off. He will hit 6. Christian Yelich's bat is starting to perk up. Yelich in the 7 spot. Danny Echeverria, an outstanding year right now. The shortstop will hit 8th, and David Phelps is in the 9 spot.
Well, recovering from off-season hip surgery, Charlie Morton made 3 rehab starts. This will be his first start of the season for the Pirates. He threw the ball very well in his rehab starts in AA and AAA. 3 of those starts, 20 in the 3rd inning, so almost 7 innings to start. Gave up just 15 hits, had 22 strikeouts, only 6 walks. He's not afraid to pitch inside. As a matter of fact, he's led the National League in hit batters last year and the year before. Take a look at that defense behind Charlie Morton, brought to you by BMW. How about in left field, Starling Marte, Andrew McCutchen, and Gregory Polanco. Josh Harrison at 3rd base, Jordy Mercer, Neil Walker, Pedro Alvarez around the infield, and Francisco Cervelli does the catching for the Pirates.
So ready to go, D. Gordon stepping into the box. Marcell Ozuna and Giancarlo Stanton will follow. Charlie Morton meets the Marlins. Morton, his first start of the season, just coming off the disabled list. The fastball misses inside. Pitch Benny brings you this first pitch. 31-year-old Morton. And D. Gordon, who's a leading hitter right now in baseball at 376. Morton zips in a fastball for a strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
And staying right true to form. You notice those first 2 pitches from Morton on the inner part of the plate, the one off the plate and the one on the inside.
Gordon fouls it out of play. D. Gordon yesterday was 1 for 4, a walk and an infield hit. Trying to get on to start this series. Pulls a ground ball to the right side. Alvarez off the bag, and the flip is not going to get Gordon, who outraced Morton to the bag. If Alvarez had it to do over again, he may have taken it himself.
Well, he's making the transition. A lot of errors as a 3rd baseman the last couple of years. He's made 5 as a 1st baseman. This not an error, it's an infield base hit, but a mental error from Alvarez. You've got to know the speed of the runner. You have to know who's covering. And a bad decision, but a good one for the Marlins, because D. Gordon gets himself a base hit number 69 on the year.
Marcell Ozuna, a 5-game hit streak. And Ozuna, a nice day yesterday. He was 3 for 4 and drove in 2 runs. Gordon is running on the first pitch. Pitch is taken for a strike, no throw, and Gordon's got the bag. His 18th. And that was a great jump.
Yeah, Francisco Cervelli, Manny Sanguillen, anybody with the Pirates would not have had a shot with the jump that D. Gordon got.
We'll just go Jason Kendall.
Ed Ott.
Russell Martin. Ozuna, a little tapper, left side of the infield. Harrison cuts across and gets the out. Gordon moves up to 3rd base. So there's 1 out, and here is Stanton. And the Marlins have an opportunity to get on the scoreboard here. A quick scouting report on Charlie Morton.
Well, we've told you a little bit about the 31-year-old right-hander. He does challenge inside. Hit 19 batters last year, 16 the year before. Kind of a 3/4 breaking ball. Now we found out he's slow to the plate, but he is quick to first base when he moves over there.
Stanton now hits it hard and into left field for a base hit, and Miami is on the board. Gordon scores. Stanton adds to his RBI total now at 41 with an RBI single. That was quick.
Do you sense an early tone? The early tone, aggressive swings early in the count against Charlie Morton. First pitch, they wanted it in, and it wasn't, and Giancarlo took advantage of it.
For Stanton, 41 RBIs ties him with Bryce Harper atop the National League lists. And here is Martin Prado with a 7-game hit streak. Stanton now at first base. And Gordon and Ozuna debriefing each other on their last 2 at-bats. Prado yesterday an epic 12-pitch at bat in which he fouled off 7 of those pitches and then homered. That was against Miguel Gonzalez in the 5th as the Marlins beat Baltimore and won that series. Morton's 7th year in the Pirate rotation, and that with a lot of time on the disabled list for a variety of surgeries. That one lined into right center. That's a base hit. Stanton to second. He'll stop there. Polanco has a good arm in right. And the Marlins have 4 hits, or rather 3 hits in their first 4 at bats.
Yeah, Giancarlo had to pause just to make sure that ball got over the head of Neil Walker, the second baseman. But there's that inside-out swing. Here's Giancarlo. Right there. There's the pause. If he doesn't have to pause, he's probably able to get to third. But you got to make sure that ball gets over the second baseman's head.
Stan going with the orange, red-orange sleeve. Marlins have the camo lettering, camo bills to their caps. Everyone around baseball has that today. Here's Bohr. And Justin Bohr takes a breaking ball for a strike. A nice weekend for Justin Bohr as well. He was 1 for 3 yesterday with a double. Already with 3 doubles, a couple homers. He's driven in 5. And his 48 at bats on the year.
You know, I think it's important whether you're home or on the road. It doesn't really matter. But I think more so on the road, and especially in a place where you've struggled. And the Marlins have struggled here at PNC. But I think it's important to come out and start the way they have tonight.
Morton's breaking ball misses in. And it's 1-2.
And Charlie Morton has a tough act to follow with the 3 previous starts.
Yeah, the Pirates pitching against the Mets was absolutely dominant. In fact, 3 starters had double-figure strikeout totals. Bohr's ground ball, Alvarez backhands, fires to get it out there. The relay to first is in time. And Pittsburgh gets the double play and gets out of the inning. But Miami gets on the board against Charlie Morton. Giancarlo Stanton, an RBI single underway. 1-0 Miami. The bases have the digital camo as well as caps and uniforms. The Pirates will line up this way. It's brought to you by JM Lexus. Josh Harrison, the versatile one, has found a home at third base. Gregory Polanco in right, Andrew McCutchen in center, Starling Marte in left. That's a very good outfield. Neil Walker at second base. Pedro Alvarez is shifted across the diamond at first. Francisco Cervelli has gone from the Yankees to the Pirates. Jordy Mercer, a sure-handed shortstop. Charlie Morton in the 9 spot.
First ever appearance for David Phelps here at PNC. His wife from Pittsburgh. A good crowd on hand rooting for David Phelps, family and friends. He did pitch against the Pirates one game, pitched very well. And needs to rebound from his last start.
And a first pitch fastball to Josh Harrison is outside. The gray t-shirts, those are the Phelps fans.
Oh, that's awesome.
Got two sections of fans. And they have seen a 28-year-old starter miss outside, and a 2-0 pitch coming. And it's a strike to Harrison.
Yeah, David Phelps last time out against Arizona, 5 hits and 4 runs in his 5 innings. Allowed the 4 stolen bases. It was one of those games, and talking to his pitching coach, Chuck Hernandez, Chuck said, you know what? It was just an anomaly the entire game. He just didn't look right with the men on base, with the pitches he threw. He said he's hoping for a much more focused David Phelps tonight.
Well, he's facing the hottest hitter the Pirates have. Josh Harrison's hit in 11 straight. Prado collects it and gets the out. 1 out. And before Gregory Polanco digs in, Miami's defense brought to you by BMW.
A terrifically groomed infield and outfield here at PNC. Yelich, Ozuna, and Stanton will roam the outfield. Prado, Echeverria, D. Gordon, and Justin Bohr around the infield, and behind the plate, JT Realmuto.
Here is Gregory Polanco, 23-year-old Dominican. Marlins got a taste of him last year. And he drops down a bunt. Realmuto picks it up, fires to first, and gets him. Just gets him. And that's one of the elements that Polanco has in his game. He is a speedy, powerful player.
Well, it's also one of the elements JT has in his game. The athletic ability to get out in front of the plate, pounce on this ball, and get the speedy Polanco. A lot of catchers don't make that play.
Well, the Pirates have been hot, so you would think that Andrew McCutchen would be playing right along, and he is. McCutchen is homered in his last 2 games. He has had a very good month of May after a slow start. You see his number, 7 homers. He's driven in 27. On May 6th, he was hitting just a .188 and had 2 home runs. Since then, he's hit .383 and has 5 home runs.
Yeah, they've had 2 guys catch fire, McCutchen and Josh Harrison.
Phelps runs that 1-1 away.
Big series for McCutchen against the Mets. And a good start for David Phelps, getting a couple of quick outs.
Yeah, the Mets rolled in here with their vaunted starting rotation. And the Pirates, Garrett Cole on the right, A.J. Burnett on the left. Cole struck out 10, Burnett struck out 10. And they thought that was cool until Francisco Liriano yesterday struck out 12. It's the first time since 1969 in Major League Baseball that a team has had 3 starters register double-digit strikeouts in a row. The last time it happened, the Pirates were involved.
Yeah, interesting 3 pitchers too. And we'll tell you,
Echeverria gets the out.
After that out is recorded. So hang in there. You got a lot of stuff tonight for Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh, Miami's up 1-0. Variety of suites at Marlins Park, located behind home plate and along first base line as well. And here in Pittsburgh, JT Realmuto stands in. Realmuto takes a strike.
Yeah, you and I always like to chat with Frank Menechino every so often, just to kind of get a rundown on the hitters. We were talking to him about JT. He's pleased. Yes, the hits aren't there, but he's pleased with the approach, the way he's working. Some of the balls he's hit that have been hit hard, but at people. Occasionally, he said he'll pull one a little too much. But other than that, he said he's pleased with the youngster. And then to top all that off, he has to go back there and handle a pitching staff, too.
Realmuto, Yelich, and Echeverria. Oh, 2. It's turning into a beautiful night here in Pittsburgh. There is a chance of rain later tonight and a chance of rain tomorrow. Outside corner, and Realmuto goes down.
Wow. You know, you establish inside, which Morton does, then he'll try to find that outside corner. Now, sometimes he finds it, sometimes he doesn't, but sometimes you get a call.
Well, that's an awful call.
Yeah.
Much like Marlins Park, the center field camera is a true center field camera, so you get a look right down the barrel from second to the mound, right down the plate. So in and out from your living room is pretty easy to tell from Pittsburgh. That's inside corner. It's 0-2 to Yelich.
Morton has won 5 games in 10 starts against the Marlins, 5-3. ERA a little over 4. Those 3 Pirate pitchers, by the way, need to get to it, that had back-to-back-to-back games of 10 or more strikeouts. Bob Veal, left-hander, Bob Moose, and Doc Ellis, right-handers.
And Doc Ellis was sober, apparently, for that start. It's 1969.
He actually remembered what Moose and Veal did.
Now, so it's 3 in a row. The last time 4 in a row happened, breaking ball fouled. Well, they can't find it. They've gone all the way back to 1900, and they cannot find a team that's had 4 consecutive starters get double-digit strikeouts. The chances of Charlie Morton doing it are not great. 134 career starts. He's done it once in his career. Yelich hits it hard out to short, and Mercer.
Wow, a little lollipop throw to first base. Yelich almost beat that.
2 outs. Marlins Park. Good place to come. And if you want to rent a suite for just a night, you can do it. Just for one game. 16 to 70 guests. Upscale contemporary furnishings. Great food, beverage options. 1-877 Marlins. Or go to marlins.com/groups. Echeverria. He takes a strike. Danny Echeverria over 300. A little 4-game hit streak he's put together. Morton's out in front, 0-2. That one flipped down the right field line. You can't get through a Charlie Morton start without recapping how he arrived here, not only in the big leagues, but also in this form. Tinkered with his delivery, very much like a Roy Halladay knockoff now. The arm slot, the Pirates made the adjustment 4 years ago, and his career kind of took off from there.
Kind of an interesting trade coming from Atlanta with Gorkys Hernandez, Jeff Locke, who's pitching tomorrow, for Nate McLouth.
There was a time where the Marlins had 2 or 3 guys on their roster that were all involved in a Gorkys-Hernandez trade. There's Clint Hurdle. Echeverria, strong line drive to right. Polanco came in, and it's well over his head. And Echeverria is racing for second, and he's going to get there with a double.
Gregory Polanco has to check the scouting report, realize he's got a hot hitter up there. 7 for his last 16 now, 5-game hitting streak. And when Etch goes that way, he's got some pop. And this ball really fooled Gregory Polanco.
9th double of the season for Echeverria. It advances the lineup, brings Phelps up with 2 outs. Phelps rolls it up the middle. Neil Walker on to first in time, and he gets the out. 1-0 Miami.
Very first people that was deployed after 9/11. And when he came home from that, one of his single wishes was to come back here in Washington and just walk in Steep Rock, which is the nature preserve that surrounds our town, and just decompress. He was just as comfortable in army boots as he was in Birkenstocks. He could make that switch so easily. But I think that being here in town and being in nature and walking in Steep Rock with his dog, it helped him to make that transition. And we felt that that was a place where he found peace. And so right after the memorial here, we distributed his ashes in Steep Rock.
Day of remembrance across our country. Memorial Day weekend. And on Monday night here in Pittsburgh, Miami and the Pirates into the bottom of the 2nd inning. The caps that you see, even some of the jerseys that you see, are available not only at team stores, the Marlins team store selling that very cap, but also on MLB.com. And the proceeds from that will all go to welcome back veterans. Major League Baseball has committed up to $30 million to that charity, Welcome Back Veterans. So all the caps and things that you see, even the bases that you saw last inning, will all go to a great cause here on this Memorial Day. Phelps back to work, and he misses inside to Starling Marte. Neil Walker, Pedro Alvarez, the cast of characters pretty much all back from last year's postseason team. Soft liner to right. Stanton is there. Ball carried pretty well.
Yeah, I think it started out soft and ended up hard. Giancarlo got a good jump on it on a ball hit pretty well by Marte. This is a good lineup. And when they're all clicking, it's a tough lineup to pitch to, the Pirates.
They won 88 games last year. They didn't get to the playoffs. They got to the playoff. And they lost in that wild card game. A harbinger of things to come when San Francisco bulldozed them here in this ballpark 8-0. The Giants won that wild card game. Madison Bumgarner, that was the start of his great postseason run. Brandon Crawford had a grand slam, and the Giants were off and rolling, and the Pirates season was done. But it was a great season, especially that Clint Hurdle engineering the turnaround from a team that he inherited in 2011 that was awful to a team now that is seen as a perennial postseason contender. Walker into right. He's got a base hit with 1 out. Tuesday nights, email and Twitter Tuesday nights. And that obviously is coming up tomorrow night, 6:30 on Marlins Live. You can start sending your questions in. You can tweet, following us on Twitter and Instagram at Fox Marlins, or send us an email to foxmarlins@gmail.com. Here's Pedro Alvarez. Alvarez's bat has perked up, and he tries to push a bunt, and there's nobody home at third base. The Marlins infield has got Martin Prado over on that right side with D. Gordon.
So the complete shift on Pedro Alvarez, just trying to run one up the third baseline and get an easy hit.
Pulls the ground ball. Prado deflected it. It ends up in right with Stanton. He'll hold it. And everything that could go wrong did go wrong for the Marlins defensively. One thing about the shift, Tommy, is it does put players in a spot that they're not accustomed to playing.
You know, even though Prado has played some Major League second base, he's there. He hasn't been there a whole lot. And you have to have some communication. It's tough. You live by the shift. Sometimes you die by the shift. And that time, Pedro Alvarez beats it.
He's used to playing second base, but he's not used to having another infielder to his left and behind him. It goes as a base hit. And now here is Francisco Cervelli, who had 3 hits yesterday in the 9-1 win over the Mets. And Phelps is trying to pitch out of this sticky spot.
There's a guy who's got an opportunity to be an everyday catcher, which he was not with the Yankees.
Pitch misses away. Of course, Russell Martin had been manning home plate for the last few years quite successfully here in Pittsburgh. Cervelli, the 29-year-old Venezuelan, has been hurt and hurt a lot. Hamstring last year, 49 games. Fractured his hand in 2013, as well as getting a 50-game suspension for PED violation. That was in 2013.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's actually of Italian heritage, too. His father immigrated to Venezuela from Italy.
Fouled at the plate.
This is a situation the Marlins will certainly love to get a double play. They've got a guy up there who can hit into a double play. And you have to be thinking that if you're in the infield right now. Dan Jennings is thinking that.
Echeverria and Gordon are back for 2. Prado as well. Bohr holds Alvarez at first. 2-2 pitch coming.
You mentioned, Rich, the 12 stolen bases of Polanco. Other than that, the Pirates don't have a whole lot of other guys that run a lot. But Clint Hurdle will create movement on the base paths. 5th year Pirate manager. Managed the Rockies a little over 7 years. Managed in the minor leagues with the Mets for about 5 years.
Took Colorado to the World Series. That one's hit to right, and it's hit pretty well, and deep and gone. homer that David Phelps has given up this year.
And from an unlikely source, that's number 1 on the year for Cervelli. Pitch was up, middle of the plate, above the belt. He stayed back and drove it into those bleacher seats in right field.
Here's Jordy Mercer now.
And we talked about the Pirates and what they did to the Mets. They outscored the Mets in that series 21-4.
Oh, 2. And the Pirates in this series have a quality starter at the back end in Game 3. Garrett Cole will start on Wednesday. Lefty Jeff Locke tomorrow. You see the last 10 days, the damage that the Pirates have done. And a lot of big home runs. McCutchen, Alvarez, Harrison's hot.
Goes back to what you and I talk about often. It's a lot of times not who you play, it's when you play them. And if you catch these guys when early in the year in April, McCutchen, when Harrison were really struggling, it's a different story.
That liner finds center field. Ozuna nabs it. And for Miami in this series, one of the storylines is the rotation and who's going to get the ball tomorrow and who's going to get the ball on Wednesday.
I think another story, Rich, is who's available with the way the bullpen's been used as well.
And some of that Tuesday and Wednesday decision will be affected by what happens here tonight. If Dan Jennings has to go early into his bullpen, that could eliminate a potential starter for one of those games. Bohr gets the out at first. Morton's sacrifice pushes Mercer in a scoring position. And it brings up Josh Harrison with 2 outs. 2 possibilities in the minor leagues for the Marlins for tomorrow and for Wednesday. And both are pitching well.
Jose Urena coming off a tremendous start his last time out against Nashville, as is Justin Nicolino. A really good start his last time out. So when you bring young kids up, if either of these are chosen, you like to do it when they're coming off good starts.
Harrison, a hot hitter in his 11-game streak, 22 hits. He bounced to third an inning ago. When you think about that ground ball that skidded off the glove of Prado, redirected by the glove of Gordon. That one's hit well to right. Stanton goes back at the wall, leaps, and he makes the catch.
Oh, wow!
Giancarlo Stanton up against the wall, holds on, and the inning is over.
Somebody check the fence.
Stanton, I know it's 21 feet up. He didn't have to climb that high. But he went up and held it. Pirates, though, a 3-1 lead. Harrison's ball sent Giancarlo Stanton to the track. He took flight from the track, crashed into the wall just as the ball arrived, and Stanton held it. So it's 3-1 Pittsburgh. Here's D. Gordon. Charlie Morton misses in.
Well, he's tried to pitch D. Gordon inside. First time up, did the same. He got the infield base hit. Again.
Tommy, you talked about how well groomed this playing surface is. It's central cut on the infield and on the outfield, actually. It's a slow infield. And it will be, I think, fascinating to see how it affects Gordon as well. The dirt out in front of the plate is rather loose, and so the ball doesn't take a real big hop when it hits there initially.
Well, a little slower, thicker grass in the infield would allow D. Gordon maybe to drop down a bunt or two. We could look for that this series.
Morton gets the out. One down here in the third. Charlie Morton has had a lot of surgeries. He's had both hips operated on, and then Tommy John. And Tommy John surgery coming earlier in his career. The hip surgery, the right hip, was done in September of last year, and the residual effects affected his availability to start the season. He did not pitch well in the last spring start, which was actually in Philly against the Phillies, and thus was put back on the DL.
Yeah, they thought enough of him, though, to sign him to a 3-year contract that runs through 2016. So he's got another year on a 3-year, $21 million contract.
And when he's on, Tommy, you'll see a lot of this. You'll see a lot of comebackers. You'll see a lot of balls on the ground.
7 ground ball outs already.
Now Stanton climbs in. He saw one pitch and drilled it to left for an RBI single.
You know, the amazing thing about Giancarlo, and talking to Frank Menachino, at this point of the season, tied for the Major League lead with 41 RBIs. Think about it. It's 41 RBIs. Yet he has told Frank he still hasn't gotten into that real comfortable mode yet, where we see him get locked in, get base hits to right center, drive in runs that way, hit balls out that way, hit monster shots to left field.
High pop-up is into the seats.
And I tell you what sometimes gets in a player's mind. Giancarlo out there in right field, he's seen how the ball's traveling to right. He had a good cut there, so he knows any ball he can get in the air to right field here is going to be out.
To right, it's deep, and it's out. Just like that, Tommy Hutton.
Oh, you love it when it comes together like that.
And Stanton goes opposite field, hits his 13th, and the Marlins are a run closer.
That's the thing of beauty. When he gets locked in, you see him do that. Standing out in right field, he's saying to himself, wait a minute, Francisco Cervelli just hit one over my head. I can do that. And there you go.
Here now is Martin Prado. So Stanton is 2 for 2, and he's driven in both runs. Prado singled in the first. His hit streak now at 8. And Morton misses in. Morton's not an easy guy to lift and separate on.
It's been a tough place for Giancarlo to hit as well. Just one career home run before that one at PNC, and it was in his last at bat last year here in this ballpark. So the signs are good. Coming off a 3 for 30 coming into this game and getting 2 really nice base hits on good swings.
Breaking ball. Prado holds up. Gabe Morales is calling balls and strikes. David Rackley at first. Rob Drake is at second. And Joe West, the umpire, at third base. Prado's tapper out to Neil Walker. Miami gets one of them back. Giancarlo Stanton saved a run with a catch and then drilled one out of here. It's 3-2. Solo homer to right. You had mentioned he had not performed well here. AT&T Universe rewind. Go back to the last at bat of the last game the Marlins played here last year, and that was his first home run in this ballpark.
Prior to tonight, 11 games here in this ballpark, a .220 average, and just that one home run. So a much better start tonight.
Now David Phelps will try to collect himself. Phelps gave up a 3-run homer to Francisco Cervelli in the second. Gregory Polanco, Andrew McCutchen, Starling Marte, the entire outfield of the Pirates on display. And these two outfields were discussed at length in the offseason as to who's got the best outfield, the Marlins or the Pirates. I think if you went on last year's production, the Marlins would be your choice. This year, Marte, 9 homers, 30 RBIs. McCutchen, 7 homers, 27 RBIs. I think both Polanco, who came in hitting at about .240 with 1 homer, and Christian Yelich are the two outfielders who have had slow starts this year.
It's a great discussion amongst scouts, and I always try to bring up the question and get the discussion going about these two outfielders.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Marlins, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins.
And has to go through Giancarlo and Andrew McCutchen.
Throw to first. Well, if you're David Phelps and you're looking for a shutdown inning, as you noted, Gregory Polanco is the base stealer of the Pirates. And Phelps walks him to lead off this, the bottom of the third. And you've got dangerous hitters to follow in McCutchen, Marte, and possibly Neil Walker.
And you know that Clint Hurdle knows about the game Phelps had last time. You see the attention, though. A quicker move over to first.
Bouncer. Phelps has got it. Fires to second. Got one. And Gordon turns it. Very nicely done. 1-4-3 on the double play.
Boy, you love to see a pitcher handle it the way Phelps did. As soon as he got that hard one hopper, watch what he does. Turns. Perfect throw to D. Gordon, who has plenty of time to make the throw and then get out of the way of Polanco, who's coming at him pretty good.
Here is Marte.
See, middle infielder's best friend is that quick throw that's about chest high.
Marte lined to right. And he takes a strike. A lot of finals in the game. 2 games have yet to start in baseball. Out on the West Coast, Padres at Angels, Braves at Dodgers. In the National League East, the Nationals beat the Cubs 2-1 at Wrigley today, despite a lot of rain. Nationals are now 27-18. The Mets beat the Phillies. Bartolo Colon back in the win column, as Joe Angel would say. 6-3, they beat the Phils.
Got a big home run from Wilmer Flores in that game.
And it wasn't a grand slam?
No, it wasn't a grand slam, and it wasn't against the Marlins.
It's kind of Wilmer Flores' MO.
Just a 2-run shot.
1-2 to Marte.
3-run shot.
Oh, see, it's close. Marte. That is strike 3 called. Nice bounce back inning for David Phelps. 3 entertaining innings so far in Pittsburgh. 3-2 Pirates.
All right, Rich, thank you very much. I am with Maria Phelps, the wife of the starting pitcher David Phelps. She's a Pittsburgher. He's a St. Louis guy. They met at Notre Dame. The rest is history. And Jackson today was baptized.
Baptized today, St. V Parish.
And it's your birthday.
And it's my birthday.
And you have a very large family. Your mom is one of 13, and you are one of 9. So that adds up to over 160 people are here. All of them are relatives, one or another. You have 82.
Yep, 80 first cousins.
84.
On one side and about on the other side.
82 first cousins on one side and over 90 beyond that generation. Just lean over a little bit, not too much. Tell me about this day here, because you haven't had a chance to celebrate too many birthdays with David.
This is pretty incredible. Driving into the stadium from home and, having Dave stay at home and come to the game was just incredible, and having all my family here, it's so much fun. And best birthday ever.
Oh, comment from Jackson. And what about the shirts? Everybody's got these neat shirts.
Yes, my cousin, Father Chris, designed a shirt so that everyone could support Dave, and everybody's wearing them. I'm not sure what section, but somewhere right above us.
How tight are they? They're all Pittsburghers pretty much. They're Pirates fans, I'm sure, but they're rooting for the Marlins tonight.
Family comes first, right?
I think Jackson agrees. Well, congratulations. It's really an amazing group. 82 first cousins. Do you know everybody's name?
Of course. Yep. But mostly in Pittsburgh. We're all very close.
All right. Thanks a lot, Maria. Good to see your whole group here. And you too, Hanson. All right. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Craig.
I'm going to go out on a limb and guess Jackson's first game.
Probably. It is confirmed. And Mom's birthday.
How about that?
JT Realmuto up. Justin Boras single to right.
An absolute bullet past Pedro Alvarez, by the way.
With Christian Yelich on deck. Charlie Morton into his 4th inning. Alvarez switching sides of the diamond. Everybody getting their second look at Morton here. And this is where Charlie Morton and that two-seamer and that hard sinker, he's had 7 ground outs. And he's 0-2 on Realmuto, and obviously he's hunting for a ground ball here and a shot at a double play.
Yeah, he's looking to make that pitch to get JT to roll over on a little bit and hit that ground ball. Yeah, his last major league start, Charlie Morton's, was last September. And we talked about the 3 rehab starts he had after that hip surgery.
Misses away, and it's 1-2.
It was similar to the pitch that JT was called out on first time up, which was way outside.
Bouncer to third. Harrison out there. Out there. Returned by Neil Walker. And that is what Charlie Morton does.
Second double play. The Pirate infield is turned. And you're absolutely right about that, Rich. He gets those ground balls, and for him, he got that one in a key situation.
2015 Esurance All-Star Game ballot is out, and you can vote up to 35 times right now at Marlins.com on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. You can select and help select the starting lineups for the 2015 All-Star Game. Yelich takes a strike.
Should be the All-Star second baseman. Saw that shot at D. Gordon.
Giancarlo Stanton, you would think, with his power numbers.
Could be a tough vote in right field, especially with Bryce Harper playing right field and the kind of year he's having.
Yelich flips that one foul.
The other thing about Harper, who's having a complete year. Harper at 333 coming into play today. 16 home runs.
Yelich cracks one into right. Yelich hit it hard his first time up. A hard ground ball to short, and he turns on one here. And so, as we've said over the last 4 or 5 days, little by little, you can see Yelich starting to pull out of it. South Florida Honda dealers, get you ready for an email and Twitter Tuesday tomorrow night, as the Marlins and the Buccos are right back here. Jessica Blaylock, Carl Pavano, the dynamic duo in the studio. The Game 2 preview. Marlins mystery starter.
Just make sure that Pavy picks up the tab.
Echeverria takes a strike. Dan Jennings said today that the Marlins will announce who will start tomorrow post game, and the reason The organization wanted to do that, was to see who threw tonight. In case there was a short start, extra innings, that could affect. Yelich is running. And Echeverria inside outs one. Walker to his left. Swallows it up and gets Echeverria at first. Couple hits for the Fish, but they're still down 3-2. An honor to be playing baseball and taking part in recognizing what makes this day so solemn and special across America. In Pittsburgh, where the Pirates lead the Marlins 3-2. Native son Neil Walker, Pedro Alvarez, Francisco Cervelli. And for David Phelps, you try to navigate through this lineup of big bats, from Harrison to Polanco, Marte to McCutchen, Alvarez, and it's Francisco Cervelli who hits a 3-run homer against you with 2 strikes, his first of the year, and he hit it to the opposite field, to right field.
You pay attention to him in the scouting report in the meeting when pitchers go over the hitters, but probably not as much as you pay to McCutchen and those others you mentioned. Tell you what, Neil Walker has had a nice career. A 5-year average for Walker. 15 home runs, 70 RBIs. Plays a solid second base. Of course, as you mentioned, grew up in this area, a Pirate fan. His father pitched. Father Tom pitched in the big leagues.
Struck him out. And Phelps gets the strikeout of Walker.
I think we've seen both sides get a couple of calls that might be off the plate. I'm sure if Neil talks to his dad, Tom, his father would say, I would like to get that pitch too when I was pitching.
Here's Pedro Alvarez. Alvarez, a big left-handed bat. One of the building blocks that the Pirates have built this team around. was a second overall pick out of Vanderbilt in 2008. 2013, hit 36 homers, drove in 100. But last year, his defense was awful. So much so that in 99 games at third base, he made 27 errors, and it prompted a move across the diamond. And that's what brought Harrison into third and gave Harrison finally his own position to play.
A lot of errors and a lot of strikeouts from Pedro Alvarez, but they will live with that because a couple of years ago, Alvarez 36 home runs at 100 RBIs. 2013. Prior to this year, Alvarez had only started 5 games as a first baseman, so there's still a lot of work to be done. David Phelps doing a pretty good job moving the ball in and out. He's not gotten the last 2 calls, but you can see what he's trying to do.
And he's done a nice job of bouncing back from that second inning in which he gave up the 3-run homer to Cervelli. That was one of 4 hits he allowed in the inning. Breaking ball hit hard. Gordon's out there, has it. Bohr gets to the bag. That's a really nice play by the right side of Miami's infield.
All right, you're more up on this than me. How does the zone rating rate that?
It doesn't.
Because D. Gordon's in shallow right field near the line. This is not an easy play. Once it makes the transition from the dirt to the grass, it's something you just don't practice a lot. And D's right there to make the play.
It's one of the things I learned this offseason when I was calling and talking to some of the more esteemed statistic guys.
See, they don't give me their numbers.
No, they don't. Well, for good reason. Because I have a calm, collected conversation with them. And one of the things I learned is that when infields do shift dramatically, the range metrics, you know, the little quadrants in which guys get scored on and making the play in quadrant, you know, behind the bag or wherever, that's all off the board.
So that one there does neither help or hurt D. Gordon.
Not in the in judging how far did he go to his left.
The range factor.
Right.
Yeah. Just checking. I like to check in with you on that every once in a while.
Well, because, you know, what happens so often now is you're bringing a third baseman either out towards short, a shortstop over towards the first base side, and those quadrants in which guys are scored are static. They don't move. And that's the problem with those numbers defensively, is there's no pre-pitch recognition. They can't determine where a guy starts from. They can come close, but they're not sure. And you hope with the new technology, Major League Baseball StatCast, which has cameras, high-def cameras in every ballpark, they'll be able to shoot the field and locate where fielders start before the pitch is delivered. Cervelli, boy, he's wearing out David Phelps.
Well, you talked about it, Rich. He's coming off a 3-for-4 game yesterday against the Mets. So right now, Francisco Cervelli's on fire. You know, just to simplify all of that and to break it down to errors, Josh Harrison at third base has made more errors, 8, than the entire Marlins infield.
And the Pirates themselves have not made a lot of errors. They've made just 17 this year. There's Jordy Mercer. Now, Mercer's a very good shortstop. He's a kind of an underappreciated guy. Lines it into center field. That's a base hit.
Well, he's fighting for his job. Jordy Mercer, the Korean Kung Ho Jung, has been doing a good job at short, some at third. And Jordy Mercer trying to keep his job as Clint Hurdle's shortstop.
Now here's Charlie Morton. Phelps misses outside. 62 pitches for David Phelps, and if it's a short start, it certainly could affect tomorrow night and Wednesday afternoon and the Marlins starting rotation. Tapper out towards D. Gordon, gathers it in, and Phelps escapes and strands 2 in the 4th. 3-2 Pittsburgh. Brought to you by Checkers. Get Checkers on Philly cheesesteak.
Just went to get
Try the new meatball sub. Pick yours. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by USAA, for those who gave everything that we may breathe free. We honor you. Boats out on the Allegheny. A gorgeous night here in Pittsburgh.
Little throwback hat right there in the stands. Hey, you and I were having a good discussion between innings about the All-Star voting concerning the outfielders. That it's the top 3 outfielders. So Bryce Harper, Giancarlo, and whoever are the 3 outfielders. It's not a right fielder, a left fielder, and a center fielder.
Especially with a guy like Harper, if another right fielder is elected,
he could play center.
He could play center. So the top 3 outfielders in each league will start.
So keep punching the ballots.
David Phelps at top of the order. D. Gordon, Marcell Ozuna. And Charlie Morton misses someplace with his first pitch, and it's 1-0.
I would have to think the Pirates and Clint Hurdle feel pleased with the outing of Charlie Morton. 11 ground ball out, so he's pitching the way he does. This could be 12.
Out to short, and Mercer throws across the diamond in time to get Phelps. Toyota trend. Other than the ground balls, here's another trend. Pirates pitching 10 or more strikeouts in each of the last 4 games. Ties a club record for the 6th time. The starters have 3 consecutive, which is the first time it's happened in Major League Baseball since 1969. But Pirate pitching, which includes starters and relievers, has had a great run, and that has fueled them with the sweep over the Mets to a game under 500 at 21-22. The Cardinals atop the division, and the Cubs trailing the Cardinals in 2nd place. Gordon up the middle. Walker gets the out. So the ground ball outs keep coming. '15 Marlins season tickets feature a variety of new season ticket packages. Prorated full season, half season, 20-game mini plans, and the new 10-game packs. Plans start just $240. Secure your seats today. 1-877-MARLINS or go to marlins.com/2015 tickets. Marcell Ozuna, bouncer to short, 3 more ground ball outs. And Charlie Morton has found his arm slot and his groove and is holding a 1-run lead over the Marlins.
Well, Rich, thank you very much. Marianne and Charles Bowery are both in the active military in the Army. Marianne, a Marlins fan, long time. Charles, will give him a break. Grew up in the Southeast, but he's a Braves fan. But he's a big Marlins supporter these days, right?
I am, absolutely.
And tell me about your Marlins fandom first, before we talk about your military. You were at some big games in Marlins history.
Yes, I was at Game 7 at for the '97 World Series, and we just incredible memory.
And now you guys are both in the Army, and Memorial Day, the players wearing the camouflage jerseys. A lot of money is raised for veterans coming back, over $30 million, in fact. And I know baseball likes this new era where they've been involved this way, huh?
Yes, and we all really appreciate it. I know that when Charles and I were both deployed, when players and coaches would come over and visit the troops, it was very much appreciated.
Marlins have made a few visits. I know that's neat. Are you guys still deployed occasionally, or do you go over there, or is your duty over there done?
We've each got 3 deployments. I've got 2 in Iraq and 1 in Afghanistan. Marianne's been to Iraq 3 times, and there could be more in the future, sure.
Okay. And as far as the back home this day, we all enjoy watching a baseball game thanks to what you guys do. We appreciate it. Sometimes take for granted, too, but it's nice at least that people are paying some thanks to what you guys do. Do you feel that, the warmth, the love?
Yes.
We do, no question about it.
Yes,
all right.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, big Marlin fans.
Go
How about that moment? Where were you in 03?
I was in New York. We were stationed at West Point, and I was in a bar in the New York City.
We were out at dinner in New York City during Game 1, following the game on our phone.
Yeah.
And when they won, it was wild. It was great.
Yeah. Game 6, were you in the city then when Beckett got the last out?
We were in the city. It was incredible.
You probably didn't have your Marlins gear on then, did you?
No.
Very smart military members. Thanks for what you do.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, nicely done, Craig. Gregory Polanco at the plate. David Phelps meeting Polanco for the 3rd time tonight. Out trying to bunt for a hit, and he walked. Was erased on a double play ball in the 3rd.
Great to see those folks in the lobby last night when the team arrived. They got a couple of nice photos with Giancarlo. It was pleasant just to go up and chat with them and pose for a few pictures.
Stanton has had an impact in this ball game for sure. He made that great catch up against the wall, robbing Josh Harrison of extra bases, probably saving a run in the second, and then came up a half inning later and blasted one over the wall, almost the same spot. Stanton comes in and makes a running catch there and gets Polanco. So there are 2 outs, and McCutchen's on his way. In honor of Memorial Day and Memorial Day weekend, Fox Sports proudly supports Folds of Honor and its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who have been killed or disabled while serving our country. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com. Now McCutchen. When the Marlins came through here last year in August, the Pirates looked like they were a postseason team, and they were. And Andrew McCutchen had a very different hairstyle, as did the Pirate Parrot. Remember, the Pirate Parrot was even sporting the long dreadlock look.
Well, Kutch, as they call him here in the city, cleaned things up. Got rid of the dreads. Got a nice, neat look. I think we were here last year, the year before. His mother sang the anthem.
Yes, she did. That was a great moment.
And I believe he hit a home run in that game.
Yeah, and she was really good, too. Breaking ball, strike 3 called. Down goes McCutchen. A 1-2-3 inning for David Phelps. Orange sleeve tonight. He is homered tonight, and he's kind of been a fashion plate when it comes to that tight sleeve that he likes to wear on that right arm. He's gone orange, he's gone white. Mother's Day goes with the pink. Father's Day, the light blue, and 4th of July, it's a grand old sleeve. We thought maybe he put this little camo on, but he's going straight orange here, and he fouls that pitch off of Cervelli. Giancarlo singled the left to drive in a run, homered to right, a solo shot. That's been the extent of Miami's offense tonight. Pulls off that one and fouls it.
Got a couple of hard 2-seamers that both buzzed inside.
All right, what school are you in terms of recording ground balls? Stanton swings and misses. Officially, Norton has 12 ground outs, but if you count the double plays, he has 14 ground ball outs.
I'm of the school of 14 because he's gotten 14 outs because of the ground. So I'm of that school.
That's pretty darn impressive, seeing as there's only 1 out in the 6th inning. And that's his second strikeout. He gets Stanton to lead off the 6th. Martin Prado, Justin Bour behind him. Bour's got that big lead pipe in the on-deck circle. Prado sees the ball well in this ballpark. He's 11 for his last 30 at PNC. It's a good hitter's background. Not necessarily a good hitter's park in terms of infield grass, which is thick, that slows the ground balls down. It's kind of a damp atmosphere here. Ball doesn't really carry all that well most nights. And it's spacious as well, especially left center.
Well, with Martin's base hit in the first inning, an 8-game hitting streak now, and probably, Rich, from our vantage point, the prettiest view in the National League.
Alvarez way off to get it, and he finds Morton this time to get the out at first. 2 outs. On June 18th, an American tradition comes to Fox and Fox Sports 1 for the first time. The greatest golfers in the world converge on the Pacific Northwest. It's a chance to stamp their names in the history books. Our exclusive coverage of the 115th U.S. Open Championship, live from Chambers Bay Golf Course, begins on June 18th on Fox Sports 1. Fox, and streams live on Fox Sports Go.
It's going to be Joe Buck and Greg Norman handling the U.S. Open. By the way, Justin Bour, one of the few guys that could find the Allegheny River with a solid blast to right field.
Well, we always come in here and talk about hitting a ball into the river. Pedro Alvarez technically did not. It landed in a boat in the river, so they gave him a river shot, but it landed in a boat, which is pretty impressive. Inside corner, that's impressive. Charlie Morton strikes out Justin Bour, and the Marlins are down 1-2-3. 7 straight retired by Morton. 3-2 Pirates. Pittsburgh 3-2 Pirates on top. Marlins and Pirates opening a 3-game series. This is a 6-game road trip. Miami continues on to New York for a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series with the Mets.
You talk about some tough matchups. It looks like Friday, of course, the Wednesday game here. The Marlins will see Garrett Cole. He's outstanding, the former UCLA Bruin. And then Friday, it looks like Matt Harvey could pitch for the Mets, who was roughed up by these Pirates.
Oh, 0-2. Yeah, the Pirates not only got great pitching themselves from their 3 starters, Cole, Burnett, and Liriano, but they beat some quality starters in the process. Marte's 0 for 2. Phelps misses away, and it's 1-2.
It's been a nice job by David Phelps after that second inning. He gave up the 4 consecutive hits, the 3-run homer, the big one from Cervelli. Other than that, he's mixed things up, thrown some nice curveballs, moved his fastball in and out. And he's kind of an anomaly to the rest of the staff. David Phelps is 0-1 with an ERA over 5 at home at Marlins Park, and on the road 2-0 with a 1.50 ERA.
But you like a lot of the Marlins starters with better numbers at home than road. By the way, a terrific start by Tom Kohler yesterday to go 6 1/3. This is going to be a tough play with speed, and Prado's throw is not in time. Starling Marte's got a base hit. Pittsburgh has their leadoff runner aboard in the bottom of the 6th.
Martin Prado did everything just right. So did Starling Marte. He got out of the box in a hurry. Prado barehands it, fires it over to first, but Marte just beat it out. Here's the charge. Here comes Prado. Perfect pick. Got something on the throw. That's not easy to do. Got a good stretch from Justin Bour. Marte runs well.
And Marte a threat to run at first. Neil Walker's up, was leaning, and Phelps tosses over to first. Just in thinking out loud about the 7th, 8th, 9th, and beyond in this game for Miami, there are a couple of arms that for Dan Jennings he would like to protect, guys that have had a heavy workload. And those 2 arms, Brian Morris and Sam Dyson. Morrison's worked in 3 straight. Dyson, and I believe 6 of 7 for Morris. Dyson has worked in 4 straight.
Yeah, you have that happen, then all of a sudden you have to say, all right, got to put the stop to it. We can't use those guys tonight. The other thing earlier, when you were talking about the pitching and who might start tomorrow and Wednesday, earlier in the game, if Dan Jennings had needed, let's say, a Brad Hand, he would go to him. Now, Brad could be one of those that we could see in a starting role tomorrow or Wednesday. Or it could be a Jose Urena, could be a Justin Nicolino.
Andre Rienzo is another possibility. Well, right now, Rienzo and Vin Mazzaro are in Miami's bullpen as reinforcement, so to speak, after that weekend in which the pen was quite good on Saturday and Sunday, but worked a lot. Marte from first, pitch to Walker, and Phelps just misses.
Yeah, he did. It looked like there was even a flinch by Gabe Morales, the home plate umpire.
82 pitches in. You see Pedro Alvarez on deck.
The amazing thing is those guys who know they're pitching tomorrow and Wednesday, they know because they're on their way now. They could be here even.
Runner bluffs, and that's a strike.
We needed the crack staff out at the airport. You talked about Marte. He has 7 out of 9 this year in the stolen base department.
2 strikes here, nobody out. We'll see if he's on the move. That right side is open invitingly for Walker. Milwaukee singled and struck out in the 4th. Pirates a weekend sweep of the Mets. The Marlins taking 2 of 3 from Baltimore. Runner goes, good jump. It's a strike called and throw him out at second base. It's a double play with Walker arguing at home plate vociferously with Gabe Morales, the home plate umpire, and those two still jawing as Walker heads back to the dugout.
Boy, this is just a great play all around. We talked about Marte and his speed, saw him get an infield hit. He gets a pretty good jump. Real Muto comes up and absolutely fires to Echeverria. Tag applied, and just like that, a double play.
Strike him out, throw him out, and here is Alvarez.
Those kinds of double plays. Now the Marlins have gotten a couple of double plays tonight. So have the Pirates. A 1-4-3 double play in the 3rd. That one there. They help the pitch count.
All right, the Marlins shift now has Prado still on the left side, and he's short enough on the infield grass that if Alvarez thinks about bunting, that Prado would still have a shot at him.
Because we did see Alvarez think about that in an earlier at bat. With 2 out, though, and you have his power, you're not going to think about it here.
Drives it left center and hits it deep. Yelich back looking up, and it's gone. Now the question is, did it get out cleanly? David Phelps was motioning to the dugout as if maybe he thought a fan had reached and touched it, but that thing just clearing the wall.
I'll tell you what, you don't see Pedro Alvarez hit too many that way. He's usually a guy who pulls his home runs into right field.
Oh,
it's close, but it looked like he stayed behind that fence, but it's close.
That's not a manager's challenge, right? I mean, if you go out and ask the umpires to look at it, it's their discretion to look at it.
Which I'm surprised they're not doing. Joe West is starting to ease in. I think he may call for a look. But it certainly is close enough.
Again, it's not a manager's challenge. You can ask for them in New York to look at it, and in most cases, umpires will grant that.
So I think Joe West is doing the right thing here. I think you have to on a ball that's close like that.
So New York will look at all the angles, not just the ones that you have seen, but the others that Pittsburgh Television and Major League Baseball has.
Umpires wearing their edition of the camo hats as well.
So New York right now is assembling all the views.
That's a deep part of this ballpark too. That ball was hit well by Alvarez. Looks like it was going toward that fan who may have had his wrists over, but looked like it was coming to him. We'll see if the call stands.
It's a home run. For Alvarez, it's a solo shot. It's the second homer of the night. Not sure what the fan is getting lectured about. I mean, New York has cleared him, right?
Yeah. Call confirmed.
Call is confirmed.
That should clear the fan.
I think he's cleared. I think what they're going to do is authenticate the ball. Unless it's a milestone homer for Alvarez, and I think they just want to authenticate the ball. Now here's the other home run hitter, Francisco Cervelli, who hit just his 12th career homer and his first since August of last year. A 3-run shot in the second. Both home runs have been opposite field shots.
Career home run number 113. Pedro Alvarez. So
that's only 101 more than Cervelli.
But number 9 on the year, the longest one he's hit in terms of time.
Foul tip. So the Pirate home runs, both of them opposite field, and Miami's home run opposite field. Giancarlo Stanton to right. Stanton's home run came just a few minutes after he crashed into the wall, made a great catch in right field. Italian descent, raised in Venezuela.
But because of his Italian heritage, he played for Italy in the WBC.
That's an easier team to make than the Venezuelan
yeah,
team.
It is.
I got news for you.
I mean, the Venezuelan team may go a little further, but a tougher one to make.
I think the Italian teams would be a fun team to be around, though.
Well, wasn't Mike Piazza one of the coaches or manager?
I think he was a player coach.
He might have been.
Counts 1-2. Yeah, the funny thing about Cervelli, he's 29, and his name is, for baseball fans, they know who he is, right? He hasn't played in a lot of games. Injuries, the PED suspension. Coming into this year, in his last 3 years, he had played in just 69 games in the big leagues.
That's the Yankee effect. Because he was a Yankee, you hear the name or have heard the name Cervelli, even though he didn't have a whole lot of playing time.
A hamstring injury last year. He played well when he played, but he played in just 49 games. Fractured hand the year before, and the PED suspension. And Cervelli walks. Miami's bullpen is active. Jordy Mercer is at the plate. Chuck Hernandez stirring everyone around. Fastball strike to Mercer. Pirates pen, and you've got the pitcher on deck. Jared Hughes is up. Vin Mazzaro up in Miami's bullpen. Slow roller. Echeverria gets the out. After 6, the Pirates lead the Marlins 4-2. On this Memorial Day, USAA honors those who gave everything in their service to our country. 4-2, Pirates on top. It's the 7th in Pittsburgh. Giancarlo Stanton with a home run, a run-saving catch. But the Marlins are 2 back of the Pirates. First pitch blasted into center. JT Realmuto reverses that Charlie Morton offering. Leadoff hit here in the 7th. And now Christian Yelich, Danny Echeverria, and a pinch hitter in all likelihood as Miami tries to get closer to the Pirates. Yelich has hit it hard twice. Hot smash to short. And a solid single to right. Runner goes, and a ground ball out to second. Realmuto gets to second, and Yelich is out.
I would doubt with the score 4-2 that that's a hit and run. You don't hit and run in that situation. I would expect Realmuto just got a good jump and took off. And unfortunately, Christian Yelich hit the ground ball to second. Another ground ball out.
Here's Echeverria. Ichiro's on deck. Mike Goff, bench coach. Little tapper back to the mound, and Morton's going to go to first. Let's go back to that play with Realmuto in first and on the move. Let's see if he was peeking. That would indicate a hit and run.
No peek. He's going straight. And another reason you don't hit and run is because Christian Yelich, we've seen the ball carry and jump. He's got the ability to hit a 2-run homer right there as a left-handed batter. So I don't think it was. We'll have to find that out tomorrow.
Now Ichiro. 90 feet away is Realmuto. There's 2 outs. Here in the 7th. Ichiro flips it foul. Morton's out front 0-2.
This would be a nice little run to sneak home with 2 out.
Ichiro ground ball to third, and Harrison gets him at first, and the Marlins don't get their run. So the Pirates hold a 4-2 lead. Charlie Morton looks like he's in mid-season form, let alone his first start 2015. And the Memorial Day weekend coming to a close here at PNC Park. Everybody on their feet. Let's join them for the singing of God Bless America.
Land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet
Fish Family is the loyalty program for the Marlins and their fans. And you get bonus points during every Marlins road telecast on Fox Sports Florida. And tonight, your bonus code is STEEL. Go to marlins.com/fishfamily and use your bonus code STEEL. Then Mazzaro returns to Pittsburgh. He was part of the Pirates bullpen in 2013 and a little bit last year. 5 appearances, was in Indianapolis most of the year. This is a guy that was pitched in Oakland and Kansas City, and the 2 seasons with the Pirates. Jose Tabata for the Pirates.
In that 2013 season that Mazzaro was a Pirate, he was outstanding with the 8-2 record. Nice ERA. In New Orleans this year, he was working mostly out of the bullpen. He had 1 start, but a 3-1 record and 3.15 ERA, so throwing the ball pretty well.
So the end of the road for Charlie Morton. He goes 7. David Phelps goes 6. Then Mazzaro with the 1-2. That misses outside. Rutherford High School in Rutherford, New Jersey. Mazzaro drafted by Oakland. Swing and a miss. Strikeout of Tabata. We check in with Craig Minervini.
Thanks, Rich. A little update on the Marlins starting pitchers and when they're going to return. It looks like Jared Cozart will not be back on this road trip. The Marlins are going to try to get him at least 1 rehab start, if not more. So most likely he wouldn't be back until probably June 3rd, which would mean 1 rehab start maybe coming up on Friday, and maybe even after that. But that's the Cozart story. That's the best news of the 3. Latos is working on getting that knee better with the Marlins, and he may be back as early as June 6th. Henderson Alvarez is a major question mark at this point. And as for Jose Fernandez, there is some news on him. It looks like his return in terms of rehab starts is going to be sometime in early June. Now, Jose told me last week he'd probably take about 5 starts, assuming everything goes well. Of course, that's a major assumption. 5 starts before he returns here to the major league level. If you did the math on that, you're looking at late June for Jose on the bright side, on the positive side, and that would put him around that Dodgers series, June 26th. It could, of course, extend into July. And again, everything's going to depend on how he feels after each one of these starts. But the news is that he's going to return sometime in early June, maybe even the 1st of June, for his first rehab start. Guys?
The other bit of news, Craig, thank you for that, is that the DL time for Henderson Alvarez is not elbow related, it's shoulder related.
Yeah, we hear conflicting reports all the time, but in talking with the Marlins training staff, they tell us it's the shoulder.
Harrison's swing. A little bit of a stumble, and you saw Clint Hurdle was walking up the steps right away, and Harrison trying to get out of the box on that ground ball. Stopped. It looks to be okay. I saw Clint Hurdle today, and he had long, dark hair, and he was wearing a Kansas City Royals uniform. There was a classic game on, 1978 American League Championship Series, Game 3, Royals at Yankees. Clint Hurdle started in left field for the Royals. George Brett homered, I believe, a couple times in that one. Reggie Jackson had just homered, and then it was time to catch the team bus to the ballpark.
Well, 1975, Clint Hurdle was a first-round pick, 9th player picked that year. And in doing a little research on that draft, Clint Hurdle's third base coach, Rick Sofield, was the 13th player picked in that same draft, 1975. He was picked by the Royals, Clint was, and Sofield by the Twins.
Merritt Island, Florida. home of Clint Hurdle. He was also, had he not signed after being drafted, he would have been playing quarterback for the University of Miami. Miami had recruited him as a quarterback. He was a great high school player, but he signed with the Royals, made an appearance on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Swing and a miss, and Harrison goes down.
I'll tell you what, Mazzaro has had a couple of nice approaches to two hitters, two pretty good hitters. Jose Tabet, of course, Josh Harrison, putting both away with good sliders. Perfect spot.
Now Gregory Polanco. The damage for the Pirates has come from Francisco Cervelli, a 3-run homer, and Pedro Alvarez, a solo homer. Going 0 for 2 tonight. He had that 5-hit game in Miami last year, 2014. Really nice series. Yelich towards the line is there. He makes the catch. Then Mazzaro. Look at a 1-2-3-7. Memorial Day, Allegheny River, such a great sight looking into downtown Pittsburgh from PNC Park, where the Pirates have a 2-run lead and are into their bullpen for the 8th inning. Tony Watson comes in. Charlie Morton was outstanding.
If you go to the website method, it is 16 ground ball outs. If you go to our scoring, ground ball outs 18. They have to be totally pleased at the performance of Charlie Morton tonight.
D. Gordon, Marcell Ozuna, Giancarlo Stanton. And a fastball for a strike.
D. Gordon trying to pick up his 70th base hit this season.
Drops down the bunt. Cervelli's throw is on the mark. It's, as I noted, a little soft in front of home plate. That dirt area is not real hard. And one of the things, if you are going to bunt in this ballpark, you got to clear it out of that dirt.
Yeah, a little harder in that dirt area. That ball perhaps goes out onto the grass a little bit more, and that makes it a more difficult play for Cervelli.
Here's Ozuna, who accumulated 3 of those ground ball outs or ground outs. Either math, Tommy's math, box score math. Ozuna 0 for 3. Busts back and lands it in left field. And so Ozuna's got a 1-out single, and he's aboard for Giancarlo Stanton. What a night for Stanton in a lot of ways. This was Stanton, but a leaping catch against the wall. Our H.H. Gregg high-def highlights. That robbed not only a hit, but also saved a run. And then he homered to right.
It is amazing to see a man as large as Giancarlo as gracefully make that catch as he did.
I say it a lot, but it is true in talking to Stanton and even scouts and others. It's the wide receiver cornerback skills that he had at Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks that translate, that help him with that grace, with the angles. Stanton left field, hits it well. It's deep. Marte goes back. He's got room, and he makes the catch. Ozuna tags, heads to second, and he gets there. Stanton just missed tying it up.
Boy, he did. I think that pitch just got in on him a little bit. He's so strong. A lot of guys don't hit this as far as he did. Just on his hands a little. See where it was. The pitch was just off the plate. He pulled the trigger, got his hands in. But the left fielder, Starling Marte, just on the track, near the track. And it makes it a close play at second base with Ozuna going in.
So Ozuna's in scoring position. Marlins had a runner at third base with 2 outs and couldn't get him in the 7th. And here now is Prado, who's 1 for 3. Watson pitched against the Mets yesterday. He has made 13 straight scoreless appearances, and that stretches over 15 innings. And in his last 9 outings, he had given up just 1 hit. Ozuna now makes it 2 hits in his last 10 outings.
Clint Hurdle has a couple of left-handers in his bullpen, Watson being one. The other, former Philly, Antonio Bestart.
On the ground to short. Mercer gets the out. And Miami strands that runner. Bottom of the 8th coming up in Pittsburgh. 4-2 Pirates. Now for our Geico Major League moment, 1951, Willie Mays makes his debut. Shibe Park in Philly. Of course, he would only hit 660 home runs in his 22-year Major League career. Andrew McCutchen, Starling Marte, Neil Walker. McCutchen is 0 for 3. Mazzaro's pitch blasted to left, but it'll stay in the park. Yelich at the track makes the catch. So an out here in the 8th. MLB.TV Premium is the #1 live streaming sports service. Every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand in true HD. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, the ever-popular pitch tracking widget. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.com for details.
I'll tell you what, Dan Jennings and Chuck Hernandez have to be pleased with what Mazzaro has done. Coming in, facing 4, he's retired 4. He's moved the ball, 2 seamers in and out with sliders.
The ball and a strike.
Would you see, Rich, where the Cincinnati Reds lost their 9th consecutive game today?
So Mark Melanson in the bullpen, Pirate closer. And the Rockies beat him 5-4. Well, for Phelps and Mazzaro, the trouble spot for Phelps. Deeper in the lineup, hitters 1 through 4 for the Pirates, 1 for 14. 5 through 8 are 7 for 11 with 2 homers and 4 RBIs. Marte knocks it into center field. He has his second hit. Up comes Neil Walker. Checkers brings you Marlins Live after the game. It starts tomorrow. We should have word on the postgame show. Big G, the defense and the offense. Now on that last highlight package, you saw the catch and you saw the home run, but he also had a line drive single that drove in the other run. So he's driven in both runs.
Yeah, he had that first AB.
He saved the run. So if this were hockey, his plus minus would be outstanding, right? He's knocked in 2 and he saved 1.
But it's still 4-2 Pittsburgh.
That's true. He was on the ice for the other 2 runs.
Well, it's good to see him swing it the way he has at line drive out last time up.
Neil Walker 1 for 3. Mazzaro's pitch swung on and missed. Yeah, Mazzaro, Tommy gave you his AAA numbers. The Pirate the last 2 seasons. Great year in 13. Didn't pitch here a lot last year. An Oakland Athletic and a Kansas City Royal.
You know, to me, you kind of put a Vin Mazzaro in a Nick Massett situation. Veteran guys, they've got experience at this level. Nick Massett was designated. The Braves picked him up. But certainly when he was here showed that he could pitch at this level.
One of the hard parts for an organization and for the Marlins in Nick Massett's spot is when you're moving a guy up, especially if there's an injury, you have to put him on the 40-man roster. And if you send him down, by no fault of his own. Oftentimes you have to expose him and take him off that roster, which allows other clubs to claim him, and that's what happened to Masson.
Sometimes it just becomes a numbers game. And then you wonder, in a case of a Mazzaro, if he gets through this inning, be a couple of innings he pitches, so who's the odd man out when a pitcher's named to start tomorrow's game?
If it's an internal candidate, if it's a guy that's already in uniform.
A Brad Hand, perhaps.
That one's hit deep and off the wall. Ozuna plays it quickly. Marte to third. He's coming home. Throw to the plate is a strong one, and he is out at the plate. Ozuna started it. Real Muto with the tag, and the Marlins with a terrific relay get the out at home plate.
Well, this is just a great play all around. Watch the rebound. Ozuna's right there for it. If he misses the cutoff man, you don't get the out. Echeverria with a one-hop strike and then a perfect throw. Is it Etch or D? D. Gordon with the perfect throw. Both of them out there to receive the cutoff, and then look at the tag applied by JT Real Muto. Perfect all around. Amazing thing about that, I wrote 8-4-2 in my book.
So Ozuna to Gordon to Real Muto. And it will go as a double for Walker. Alvarez pulls a ground ball. Gordon on the outfield grass goes to first in time. Great defense. Saves a run. From Ozuna to D. Gordon to JT Real Muto. 4-2 Pittsburgh to the ninth. The Honda dealers and by Kubota. Check us out at Kubota.com. And by Florida Coast Equipment, the largest Kubota dealer in the state. Visit us at FloridaCoastEQ.com. 4-2. Pirates on top. Ninth inning has arrived. So has Pittsburgh's closer. Mark Melanson into the ball game. Melanson, who had a nice year last year, was an all-star actually as a short man in 2013. Last year he had 33 saves and an ERA of under 2, and you can see his numbers this year. The ERA a little higher, and he's on. Justin Bohr for Miami. JT Real Muto and Christian Yelich. Sean Rodriguez, the pride of Braddock High School. with a little different look out there. Got the beard going and the flowing locks. And here is Bohr, who's 1 for 3.
That's a move that Clint Hurdle makes with Pedro Alvarez learning to play first base. Not a lot of experience there. Getting a little better defense in Sean Rodriguez, who's one of those guys when he was playing for Joe Madden in the Rays, played all over. Got a little Angel Pagan look.
I was about
the
to
Giants.
say, that's what I mean. He's kind of changed his look. Yeah, last 5 years with the Rays, his first taste of the National League. Bohr gets a hanger, hits it high in the air. It doesn't have enough though, and it dies, bringing Polanco off the warning track to make the catch.
Well, a hanger, and sometimes you just pull the trigger a little bit too quickly, and Justin Bohr just got under it.
T-Mobile game changer. Charlie Morton tonight, his 2015 debut, 7 innings. Look at all the ground ball outs. No walks, and he struck out 3. Real Muto against Melanson.
JT making his 31st start tonight since being called up. And we've seen some really neat things tonight from JT. Got the base hit the ball hard, threw a runner out and a strikeout, throw out, double play, and then received that throw from D. Gordon and made a terrific tag to get the out at the plate.
He made to start the game, a nice play on the Polanco bunt, threw him out at first.
You know, you watch a player and it isn't always about the gappers and RBIs. You know, it's a complete game.
Real Muto as well, and watching that play, a reminder of it, and I've seen it a couple of times this year as he pounds it out towards short. And he's out by a step. He has the play at the plate positioning for a catcher, the modern day positioning, down, doesn't he? I mean, he's really good about straddling the line but not being on the line, and being legal but being close enough to sweep the tag.
Different schools of thought between a JT Real Muto and a Jeff Mathis, who, by the way, has started his rehab. He's played a game or 2 in AAA.
And Miami now down to their last out, crowd of just over 20,000. Up. And Christian Yelich takes outside. Ball and a strike. Yelich a 1 for 3. Two. Ooh.
See the home plate umpire flinch too? It's a couple of times tonight that Gabe Morales has flinched that shoulder.
It caught the plate.
So Christian got a break.
2-2 coming. Down further and out of the zone. Full out 3-2. And Danny Echeverria And in the pitcher spot, Marlins have already used Ichiro as a pinch hitter tonight. Yelich back to Melancon. And the Pirates take game 1. The final, and the suddenly hot Pirates have won 4 in a row. We'll wrap it up from Pittsburgh. 4-2 Pirates. Back after this.